Taurus, I am Anisha. To know more about my work, you may visit my website www.TarotbyAnisha.com. For those of you who are seeking deeper clarity, be it in your love life, your relationships, or be it your career, for a personal consultation, you may write to me at TarotbyAnisha@gmail.com. Taurans, there are three things that cannot be hidden. There's the sun, the moon, and the truth. And this is something which is a very popular quote by the enlightened Buddha. And this month, as we have another eclipse that is there, and we have a lot of clarity that is coming along with a lot of things that are ending. In fact, we're entering a new world, a new way of living, and all of us are adapting, whether we like it or we don't like it. On the 3rd, we have a full moon that is there in your house of career. This is a house where you project yourself outside in the world, who it is that you are, how it is that you want the world to perceive you, the kind of accolades that you receive for your work. And with full moon being over here, it's a fruition of something. That means that for some of you, it could be an ending of a job. It could be that you're finishing a project. It could also mean in certain things that there's a kind of a decision that you've made, that you have walked this path, this career path for a long time, and you no longer want to follow it, and you're changing path now. You want to do something really different from what it is that you may have been doing for the longest of time. This is also a time which this full moon brings about a lot of popularity as well, a lot of accolades. You're being given credit for your work. A lot of your Taurans would be quite vocal on social media, be it on, especially because this has to do with your work. So it could be at LinkedIn that you're making connections. People are listening to what is it that you want to say. For those of you who are not sort of interacting and networking, I think this would be a great time for you to be doing that online professionally. And there are a lot of professional platforms which allow you to do that. You could be writing articles, you could be blogging, you could be sharing opinions, you could be just sharing your company's information, promoting it, or even your own values and ethics, and how is it that they get reflected at work. I think when a full moon comes, besides it being a very emotional time because something is coming to an end, it also brings about a lot of clarity. It tends to sort of shine a light on something which needs to be put to rest. So if at work there's a movement of whether you're being relocated, whether there is a new role for you, or whether you're the job is finishing or ending and you're moving to another job, or your project is finishing, there's a lot of clarity now as to the way ahead, as to what is it that you want to do. And because it's the house of almost it's a house of leadership, it's a house where people sort of give you a lot of respect outwardly. So this is also a time which will give you courage. You could have people who sort of come forth and they say, okay, let's collaborate and let's do some work together. On the 5th of August, we have Mercury that is coming to join Sun in your house of home. And then we also have a new moon which is there in your house of home. So a lot of focus is there to your roots, from the place where you come. You're anchoring, you're in a stability. This house is also ruled by Cancer, which normally means your mother. So in some cases it could be your mother could be slightly, you could be concerned about her. In some cases you could be moving in with her. For some of you, she could be moving with you. So her health, you could be worried about her. Maybe she's on her own. This also speaks about new beginnings. So some of you could be literally be changing your house. Some of you could be renovating, leasing, buying, selling. The Sun and the Mercury, they bring about, because there's a lot of clarity, it speaks about at times of hard conversations. Mercury will sort of prod you to have certain uncomfortable conversations, and the Sun is giving you that confidence and courage. That's, maybe there are certain things that could be patterns from childhood that still bother you now. There could be things that could be um, maybe be a little slightly tough between you and your partner, and the roots of it go back to your family, to your childhood, as to how it is that you were raised, and what is it that happened while you were growing up, and maybe those things that need to really get smoothed right now. And Mercury is going to be giving you that. It's going to give you those words to be able to communicate and articulate as to what is it that you're feeling. And with the new moon being over there, I think there's a lot of hope that things can be healed. There can be new beginnings. You can start again emotionally, literally emotionally as well as physically. On the 8th, we have Venus that is moving into your house of communication. This is the house of movement and also siblings and your community where you live. And you're going to be very attracted to people who can stimulate your mind, who can hold a lot of interesting conversations with you. And you want someone who's very well read, who's intellectual, who can stimulate you mentally, and you would find this person to be really interesting. It's also not the time that you're going to be that you're just going to be sort of be happy about not knowing enough. It's a time where you would be questioning a lot of things. You would be going deeper. You would be prodding as to all the whys and the why nots and the hows, and you're going to be enjoying this immensely. Try and, however, be a little careful about avoiding a confrontation or an argument with a sibling. It could just be that you may feel the need to sort of stand your ground. In certain cases, it could be that a sibling needs a help. Maybe a sibling needs counseling, and you need to be there for your sibling. But Venus overall brings about a lot of love for the outdoors, and in the limited way that we can now travel with the pandemic now. I think whether it is cycling or whether it is doing solo rides early in the morning or even running, there's still ways wherein that you can take full precaution and you can pursue these things. It's also a time that you're going to be finding a lot of pleasure in communicating with your community where you live. Maybe you could be contributing by taking care of the stray animals that are there in the complex where you stay. Maybe you could be volunteering to take care of the elderly that are there. So a lot of focus is there in sort of participating in being a part of the community where you live in for the betterment for it. On the 20th, we have Mercury that moves into your house of love, romance, creativity, and children. And then on the 23rd, we have Sun that follows over there. So now during this cycle with Mercury being there in your house of love and romance and creativity, you're going to be feeling more creative than usual. You can it's an excellent time to be working on creative projects for those of you, whether you're creating music, you're writing a book, or you're painting. It's a time where you're just going to be feeling very extrovert. You just want to play, so you're going to be going all out. You're going to let your inner child out, and it's for those of you who are single, it's a great time to be meeting someone virtually. And it could also be a time to sort of connecting on a deeper level with this person. For those of you who have children, it's a great time to be sitting down, having a heart-to-heart conversation. Maybe your child or your children need counseling or they need your help during this time. So it's a great time to be. It's a great time to be there, Taurans, and not just physically. I think there are times when our parents need us. Not really as savers, but as people who respect the situation that they are in. Parenting, I think I don't know how many books have been written and can be written, and discussions can be done on parenting. But with older kids, especially, you don't stop being a parent, the authority figure, but I think you also need to take the role on of an individual who's empathetic to another individual and shows respect for what the situation is for your child, for your adult child. And I think this is a time which are extremely challenging times, so you need to be more compassionate than you normally would be. So reach out, and besides just lending a compassionate ear, if there is something a little more that needs to be done for your children or for your child, I would say besides lip service, and without having that thought of, oh, they're so grown up and I don't need to be doing more than what I'm doing. Um, I think go beyond the call of duty on this one, Taurus. Now Mars is going to be there in your house of behind the scenes, and interestingly, Mars is unusually staying low. I think normally it stays for maximum for about 6 weeks, but this time it's there for about 6 months, and it's there in a house of compassion. It's a house of service, but this is also the house of secrets, and it can be almost like a self-undoing. So Mars is not very happy being in this house because this is a very quiet house. It's a house where we go and recharge our emotional batteries. And Mars is on action. It doesn't want to sort of sit in this peaceful house of introspection and, wants to do things. It wants to get things done. It's a very action energy. But Mars in this house can sort of make you reflect on your goals. What is it that you want? And I'm not saying generally out of life and your 10-year goal, because honestly, I think in the current pandemic situation, we can't even talk about the next 5 months. So, like 5 years seems really far-fetched. But Mars is going to make you focus on goals that are important to you. Maybe things that you've been thinking about. So, if you have been thinking about volunteering for an animal shelter, this is a time where Mars is going to sort of encourage you to at least make that contribution virtually. It's going to make you or even think about and then act sort of consciously, act it out and say, okay, this is something, and action it out, but this is something that needs to get done. This is also a time where you would like to work on your own. It's a good time to be creating music. It's a good time, I think, for any solo project, because you'll have the energy, you have the introspection, you'll have the sort of the fire to do it. And with this house of behind the scenes, you are in any case sort of, you're not too keen to be in the midst of, a lot of conversations. So you were quite happy sort of running with this solo project. Also, for some of you, it's a great time to recuperate. And if there has been a need of counseling, I think this is a brilliant time to be speaking with your counselors, with your whether they're psychiatrists, whether they're psychologists, and I think about it. Think about some introspection. Think about the certain knots that need to get sort of opened in order for you to be moving ahead. And also, I think if you have been working on a solo project, if you have been thinking of maybe writing that piece of music or creating anything, maybe writing that book, it's a great time to be doing that. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Taurians. I know I have not been that regular, but I hope to try and be regular from this month onwards. Hopefully. I'll see you again next month, Taurians, and thank you so much.